pronunciation guide. Night Ops. Do they go by KO or anything like that?
Oh.
You didn't tell us that.
Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Overwatch Pretenders Finals match. We have two great teams battling out to become the winner of the Overwatch Pretenders Finals. We have SWIYAA Academy versus Night Ops Academy, two great teams battling out. Last time we saw Night Ops Academy going up against Unknown Academy, giving us a great match. Today I am your colorcaster, Brilliant Frame, and today I will be joined with a play-by-play caster. His name is Griffins. Say hello.
Hey there. Thanks so much for having me on. Very excited to be casting for Overwatch Pretenders. It's a great league, a great community. I'm very excited for this matchup. Obviously, the lower division finals. Just coming in, being able to do this here with the finals. Very excited about that. So thanks again for having me on.
Yeah. So by looks of it, we will start in on Hollywood. A really good map for high verticality, especially with players like Widow, but also you get the compositions like the bunker composition, which favors in that high ground. You can either go towards the choke, as we saw quite a few times, or you can be in the little back area, like the little area just on the point, so you can get that sightlines of the point and just stopping the team from pushing onto that point. However, with the bunker composition, you lack mobility, so if the team starts to push up against you, you're going to have a hard time getting out of there, just due to the low mobility, especially on characters such as Bastion and Orisa.
Yeah, especially if they're able to come up kind of through that bottom area on first there, get behind you. Very difficult to rotate around if they dive on top of you, if they make that space there. So it'll be interesting to see if it is Hollywood, what these teams end up going for on first, and if that changes heading into second with all that high ground.
Yeah. When I casted for Night Ops Academy versus Unknown Academy, I saw that Night Ops liked the GOATS composition. I know quite a few people dislike the GOATS compositions, but Night Ops really did favour in this composition. So we might be able to see that quite a few times in this series of matches. So it'd be likely for Night Ops Academy to bring it out. However, I haven't seen SWIYAA yet, so it'd be interesting to see what they bring out. But all I can say, it's going to be a great match, and I cannot wait.
And it looks like we are heading in right now, so exciting stuff. We'll be able to see what these teams do.
So one thing I did talk about a lot there was on the defensive side for the compositions, but I never talked about the attacking. So one of the compositions that can be used that's really good against bunker composition is the dive composition. Like players like Winston can jump onto the point and start to be an annoyance to the Bastion. However, Goat's composition, if it's on Goat's on defense, maybe a more DPS heavy, so maybe the Reaper, the May Reaper composition is a really good composition, especially equipped with a Sombra. It can be really good. However, it do lack the health pool.
Yeah, obviously we have been seeing a lot of the May Reaper, Orisa Roadhog when it comes to Overwatch League. Now these games are played before the 2-2-2 lock goes into place, so there is still that possibility of seeing goats. So you do kind of wonder what these teams want to go with. I'm not sure they're going to be sticking with what we're seeing right now, at least for Night Ops, but very interested to see. Probably not going to be the quad DPS, I imagine.
Well, just so the audience is aware, on the blue side it is the SWIYAA Academy, and on the red side it is Night Ops Academy.
All right, so the action kicking off, and at the moment it does seem like Night Ops are rolling out. No, they're making switches right now, so going over to maybe sticking with... Yeah, it's going to be a Hammond with multiple DPS here. Mercy Ana on the supports, and looking like a bunker for SWIYAA Academy.
Yep, so this composition from Night Ops Academy is really good. It favors in damage, so you can get rid of that shield very quickly, making it really hard for that Bastion to be protected. So, like especially with Naomi Smalls playing this Pharah, you should just continuously pumping in damage, and then Hanzo, played by Matt, can easily apply more damage, and then you got Science just waiting that backline to get a few picks onto players such
Exactly.
as Junkrat.
Junkrat especially. Looks like the action is kicking off now as Night Ops is making their move towards point, making some space there. The Pharmacy over on the side of point, and it looks like Mac and Cheese taken out on the Hamster by the Bastion. So a good play there, able to get that first pick and the first kill of this match. Now the Immortality field goes down, but Amplification Matrix up from Cadenza. So not a great time for Night Ops to want to engage here. That ult was built very quickly. But not able to find any kills there, so Night Ops moving on to point. The Dragon Strike coming through, looking to displace that Bastion from the high ground, but they're able to stay up there with the Immortality field, so not accomplishing what they wanted to do there, Night Ops. Perhaps some action going on here on point as the tanks are just kind of duking it out. Hothead on that Bastion standing tall, but now the barrage comes in from Naomi, finds two, and although Naomi Smalls is going to drop there, we see a res coming in on a Smee, but Night Ops coming away with a few kills. It looks like they're up at least one in this fight so far, and moving towards point, but not able to find the footing they need with the Orisa and the D.Va still up. Now a couple of picks though coming through from Science. Science with two huge headshots on that Widowmaker, and it looks like this is going to be it. Night Ops will be taking this first point.
Yeah, great plays from Science. I am a real big sucker for Widow plays, and good so. I have to give it to him, Science, getting those great plays.
Mac and Cheese cleaning things up there on the Hamster, just finishing off those last few kills, and Night Ops Academy taking first point with 4 minutes left in the time bank as this payload starts. And it looks like we're seeing some switches here.
Yep, so we saw Science there use his wall hacks just to get a glimmer of what the SWIYAA Academy is running for their competition, and they immediately made the changes, especially with characters like Brigitte, who can stun the characters so well, especially with Mac and Cheese was playing that Hammond. Brig is a really good counter for Hammond, so he had to make the changes onto the Reinhardt, and now we're seeing Goats v Goats compositions.
It is just pure goats versus goats as the action kicks off here. Reinhardt's duking it out, swinging those hammers. A couple bubbles coming through from the Zarya. Too much happening just yet. Now getting aggressive, our SWIYAA Academy as Kiwi finds a pick on Naomi. So the Brigitte going down is going to mean a lot less sustain for Night Ops Academy. Now, however, we get the Nano Boost. Reinhardt and Mac and Cheese lands a huge shatter. A Fire Strike goes through, finds 3 with that shatter, and Night Ops Academy is going to come through and just clean things up here.
Yeah, great place. Yeah, great communication between Kitsan and Mac and Cheese there, using that Nano Boost just to get that bit more pressure towards SWIYAA Academy, then using that Earth Shatter just to finish things off. Great plays from Mac and Cheese and Kitsan there.
Absolutely, and it looks like SWIYAA not even able to recontest the point, so Night Ops Academy making pretty fast work of first 2 points. 4 minutes left in the time bank, heading into third, and the action kicking off with a bomb there from Welsh Kiwi. It finds 2! Naomi and Science both going to drop to that bomb, and now maybe this is the time for SWIYAA to stabilize off of those 3 picks.
Yeah, great plays from the Welsh Kiwi there. Instead of just pushing out a fight, he went to the back, getting the picks onto the support healers that were just right at the back, trying to stay hidden. And the Welsh Kiwi saw that and then used the D.Va to their advantage.
Yeah, not often that you see just a raw bomb like that, finding 2, but able to place it very, very well. And after that, Kiwi did choose to switch over to the Zarya, so looks like we're going to have, the EMP coming out. So the action starting off fast and dropping lower and lower as Mac and Cheese. Mac and Cheese is going to be taken out. The rally supporting the members of SWIYAA, and it looks like they're just going to push forward, try to get a few exit kills as Night Ops Academy forced once again to back off. And we see Dr. White going to drop there to the nice shot from the Zenyatta. Zenyatta obviously capable of outputting quite a bit of damage in the right hands.
Yeah, most definitely. See, they've made a few changes here from the SWIYAA Academy. They brought out the Sombra, a really, really good counter towards this Goat's composition, especially with her EMPs. If you use that EMP, that means there's no shields, and that Goat's composition will begin to crumble.
Indeed, we see a grab come out here now, and even though the Transcendence is committed, a huge anti-nade lands there for Night Ops Academy. Kitsune with an incredible bio-nade to make sure that all of those picks were found in the Graviton Surge. So, Night Ops Academy not only able to capitalize on a key ultimate there, but able to hang on to 4 more of their ultimates to the 2 remaining for SWIYAA Academy.
Yeah, but remember, the Smee does have this Earth Shatter. If he can place that really well, he can stop this full push. However, they have to communicate here to make sure they can do a full hold.
They're trying to do just that. We see a huge Earth Shatter finds 3 there, but the sound barrier able to respond. Now an EMP goes off. Ultimate's being thrown out. Another answering sound barrier to that EMP. We see both Reinhardts dropping now. So an even fight for these teams. Obviously that is going to favor SWIYAA as the defenders, and they are able to get the D-Mech there onto Matt. So it's looking like after losing that mech, Night Ops Academy, and yes, Matt eventually going to fall in Baby Diva form, Night Ops Academy forced off a point. They had a bit of an ult advantage going into that fight, but after being forced to commit their sound barrier during the EMP, pushed away in the end.
Yeah, so SWIYAA did really communication there with Smee on using that Earth Shatter, just getting at the right time. As soon as McEntee's shield went down, he used it. It was brought up by the sound barrier, but they were using a lot of ultimates.
And now we see another Earth Shatter come out. There is the Transcendence, and now Night Ops caught up inside of a big Graviton Surge, finds about 3 or 4, and Dr. White gonna drop. So SWIYAA currently up 1 in this fight. There is still a minute left, so Night Ops should be choosing to back off, and yes, they are. So a very quick fight there, won by SWIYAA Academy.
Yes, Naomi Smalls did pull out her ultimate there, her rally. She tried to keep her team up, however Dr. White already went down. In my opinion, I think she should have kept that ultimate ready for the next push, because that additional armor will help push.
And looks like, yes, we have definitely needed some additional armor there as the Nano Boost and Graviton Surge combo comes through. Just absolutely demolishes them, and Hothead going to lose the round with an EMP in hand. Such a difficult thing to do, you know, having such a key ultimate and seeing the round end like that. Very unfortunate for SWIYAA Academy.
Yeah, most definitely. However, they could bring it back. If they can do it in a quicker time than Night Ops Academy, it'd be a great advantage for them. We've seen teams before that their defense is not as strong as their attack, so we could see a quicker time from the SWIYAA Academy and Night Ops Academy with a weaker defense. However, it could be that Night Ops Academy has a really strong defense as well.
Definitely possible. Now, Night Ops was looking very strong there. However, they do end and complete the map with only 19 seconds left. So this, as you said, definitely far from over. We'll have to see what Night Ops are looking to run on this defense and what SWIYAA is looking to run into it.
Yeah, so it looks like that Night Ops Academy are using a GOAT composition, and there seems to be that SWIYAA Academy is going to do the same as well, but however, Smee possibly going on to this Winston. We are still in the pre-lobby. However, we still see Hothead on this Sombra. It's a really key component in their composition to destroy this GOAT's composition with Night Ops Academy. It was shown in that previous fights that this Sombra, comboed with all his teammates, is real being a real pain and real counter towards Night Ops Academy's GOATs.
Yeah, just as long as the Hothead is able to get that EMP off, obviously, which we saw, unfortunately, wasn't able to happen at the end there. But now it does look like SWIYAA Academy are going to be running with this Winston Sombra iteration of the GOAT's composition. So interesting to see.
You saw SWIYAA there just being a bit anxious and suspicious because they couldn't see where Night Ops Academy was because they were hiding on the stairway. So they didn't want to push up too far just in case they got caught up.
And here we see some action on point. Looks like Hothead just trying to farm a little bit of that EMP. Both teams just jockeying for position here. Night Ops wants to hold that high ground as much as they can, but with SWIYAA pushing to point, a couple members now going to drop, so they are a little bit split up between the high ground and the point right now. Eventually, Mac and Cheese does drop to point, so it looks like Night Ops going to forfeit the high ground to come and contest this point now. Still do have the Zarya up there, though. It is important to note. And now a big pick coming through onto Mac and Cheese from SWIYAA, along with the Transcendence to give them a little more staying power on this point. However, no picks found towards the end of that Transcendence, but now taking out Naomi. So kill after kill coming through for SWIYAA Academy, now finding Matt. So in the end, it does look like on the back of a quick Transcendence and a great pick onto Mac and Cheese, SWIYAA Academy going to roll through this first point with a relatively quick amount of time.
Yeah,
and we have a pause.
Yeah, so going to a quick pause here. One thing I would like to note that SWIYAA Academy did there was split up the team as you talked about. They split up the team so you had the Zarya and the Anna on the high ground. However, the other team was on the low. The other characters was on the low ground. So that meant that the Zarya bubble could only go towards that Anna, and also Hothead there noticed that. So he went up to Science playing that Zarya and hacked her. So that meant there was no bubble. So as soon as Mac and Cheese shield went down, it was an easy pick, and hence why he went down first, because he was trying to push up. He thought he had the Zarya bubble to back him up. However, didn't notice until it was too late that Science was hacked, and that meant that there was no bubble, and immediately going down first.
Yeah, and it is interesting because it would almost feel like that's exactly the position you want to be in. You've got your Ana, your Zarya up on that high ground, raining in the healing, raining in the damage. But if they're able to split you like that and get off a key hack, it can break apart really quick and really fall apart for that defense, which we saw right there.
Yeah, most definitely. So it'd be interesting to see how Ops Academy will change a few things. Will they stick to the same composition? Most likely, because they do like this GOATS composition. They do have a few ultimates coming up to, but they
They
do
do
have
have,
Kitsun. Yeah, so they do have Kitsun
yes, they
with
do
that
have those
nano.
big ultimates. However, on the other side, it is important to note too that Hothead was able to build an EMP and not commit it during that fight. So, despite a couple key ultimates on the side of Night Ops, those can be canceled very quickly by a big EMP.
Yeah, most definitely. So, especially with that, as you're saying, that EMP is a vital component. So if we don't, so if they got that for this next fight, it's going to be a real disadvantage. And SWIYAA Academy can just continue to move this payload through to this third stage.
That would be a pretty key fight to win. I'm interested to see going into this fight. Dr. White has obviously that sound barrier up, maybe not 100% on how much alt charge Hothead has, but will we see Dr. White trying to, hide, avoid getting hit by that EMP to come through with the sound barrier, or will Hothead be successful in canceling that? I would say that is one of the most key factors going into this next fight. Obviously, we should make note that there is also a grav coming online for Night Ops, so there are a ton of big ultimates going into this fight.
Yeah, most definitely. See, and we do see both rallies almost coming up to on both teams. You do see Idolan at 95% and Naomi Spores at 94. So most likely in this next fight as well, we'll see two rallies.
Definitely. Now those offer a lot of sustain, but when they're canceling each other out, it maybe doesn't have the biggest effect.
Yeah,
That is the nature of Brigida, the nature of Goat's composition.
yeah, but that additional armor, especially on the characters such as the support, like Anna and Lucio, if they have that additional armor, it can mean they have a greater chance of survival, especially with big ultimates such as a Graviton Surge.
That is very true. Seems like we are going to be paused for a little bit more time being. Now you casted the match, the semifinal matchup between Night Ops and I actually don't recall
Unknown,
exactly, but
Unknown
while
Academy.
we're Unknown Academy, sorry about that. While we're here, did you just want to speak on that match a little bit? Obviously, you were able to become familiar with Night Ops during that a little bit more and the style they like to run. Did you want to just kind of go into that semifinal match for maybe any viewers who weren't able to catch it live?
Yeah, so Night Academy really favour this Ghost composition. That was a common trend I did see. They did sometimes play the DPS heavy composition, as we did see early on the attacking in the first point to try and capture the point, just to get the point quickly as possible. That's the main point of the quad DPS, is just to get that point as quickly as possible, then change to a different composition, like they did. So that's what they did in the semi-finals, and Unknown Academy kind of had varied compositions, and it seemed they had the compositions, they tried to make it work. However, Niles Academy just seemed like the stronger team, and they, no matter what position they were in, they were able to adapt. So they had the positioning correctly. If they had the Sombra on the enemy team, they would try to focus on it. So they have tried to get out of the way of hothead play on this SWIYAA team. They are trying to split him a bit, especially with like Dr. White trying to keep away, and then when he's ready and available, use that sound barrier, which we'll probably see in the next fight, as you talked about earlier. And so some things I saw in the fight in the semi-finals. So other things I did see is that Niles Academy, even though they do have the same composition, it means they can be really predictable. So if SWIYAA, especially right now, they are using the Sombra composition to destroy the Ghost composition, and sometimes it is working, as we just saw with this. Previously, they put them to be able to put the 4 holds on with this Sombra. So it'd be interesting to see, will Niles Academy be able to adapt to try and overcome the Sombra, or will they stick to the same composition?
And that is very true. For those of you who are fans of the Overwatch League, you're probably familiar with the fact that as time went on, it did seem that the Sombra variation of the Goats composition, the 3-2-1, as some people call it, was kind of getting the better of your traditional 3-3 Goats composition. So, if Night Ops aren't able to make another adjustment here, we could see SWIYAA coming through with a very, very successful attack.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it was like Shanghai Dragons versus the Vancouver Titans. The reason I think that Vancouver Titans lost was because of this Sombra. The Sombra was Vancouver couldn't adapt to the Sombra, and ultimately end up losing their match because of this Sombra Ghost composition.
Yes, and even prior to the stage 3 final, or the stage 3 playoffs, it was the Los Angeles Valiant who were the first to take them down, also using a Sombra variation of Goats. So if there's any one hero that seems like the best counter to a 3-3 Goats composition, Sombra would have to be it.
Yeah, most definitely, especially those EMPs. If you can get rid of those shields, it's gonna be a harder chance of winning the fight, because you have another shield to protect you from all that damage coming in from the team, from like characters such as Zenyatta and Zarya with a full beam.
Very true, very true. Now, going back again to the semifinal match, were there, while you were casting, were there any big standout players for Night Ops Academy? Were they more of a team oriented, very coordinated unit sort of thing, or do they have kind of those standout players, in your opinion?
Um, I think it was more like the games such as Overwatch. You can have the big plays from one character, but at the end of the day, games such as Overwatch, it has to be a team game, because you can't destroy a whole team on your own. You always have to have that team to back you up, especially with like support healing you up. So, in my opinion, they did have a few players such as Naomi Smalls, and being really good on her support and be able to provide the health towards a team. However, in my opinion, it was the whole team as a whole being able to win the fights.
Well, it looks like Night Ops coming through successfully, taking out the Sombra here as we get back into the action on pause. Graviton committed there, doesn't find any kills, but now Night Ops pushing through, finding the kick on Eidolon, and Smee as well dropping now. Kiwi falls, and Tater to follow. So, SWIYAA totally wiped there, crucially able to hang on to their EMP, their Graviton Surge, Sound Barrier, basically all of the ults they have, other than the rally, which was committed during that fight. Not too bad for SWIYAA, especially because you did just take point with 4 minutes left heading into this, but action continuing now. SWIYAA pushing through that first choke here on the second point of Hollywood. The Reinhardt's once again jockeying for position. Mac and Cheese gonna find a 3-man shatter, but the answering shatter comes through from Smee, able to find 2 of his own. So we see Cadenza drop on the side of SWIYAA and Mac and Cheese falling for Night Ops. It's hard to lose that main tank and continue a fight, as now we do see Naomi Smalls dropping as well. So 2 picks coming through from SWIYAA. Oftentimes you just can't continue a fight when you lose that main tank.
If you don't have that big shield just to provide the protection from you, you may as well just back off, regroup your team, and get to a position where you feel more comfortable. The Zarya does have her own bubbles, but that lasts for about 2 to 3 seconds. So it'd be better to just back off, have your team with you, and then especially with this Lucio, you can get that Reinhardt back to the fight quicker. So good communication can win you fights.
Excellent communication there. Now we see a Graviton coming through from SWIYAA. Transcendence committed as well, and it is going to be converted into some kills here, as 4 from Night Ops going to drop, losing the D.Va, the Lucio, basically everyone. And SWIYAA making excellent time here on second. So Night Ops with a solid push. They were slowed down coming through third, however. Do you think that we're going to see a similar situation for SWIYAA?
Maybe. We do see Matt playing as D.Va, however it doesn't have this bomb, which was the counteracting play on from SWIYAA and when they were on defense. However, Matt is slowly coming up to this D.Va bomb.
And it looks like instead of a D.Va bomb to slow the payload down, it might just be that nano boost, as they are able to take out the Brigitte on the side of SWIYAA. Taking an aggressive fight there with SWIYAA, choosing to push through the doors, trying potentially, I think, to catch some split spawns there, but it's actually going to be Night Ops Academy getting the better of them in that fight. But again, not too much of a setback for SWIYAA, as they're coming through now with an EMP, as we talked about before, one of the best ults in the game. And there it is, committed, it finds 3, but we do get an Earth Shatter coming through as well. Mac and Cheese dropping there. Huge Bionade lands, but I just don't think it's going to be able to do enough for Night Ops Academy, as they have already lost their main tank, and SWIYAA looks like an unstoppable force coming through third point and approaching yellow box to send us into overtime rounds.
Yeah,
heading into this fight, we've got grabs on both sides, and they are both going to be thrown out. So both teams locked up in the grabs now, but it's going to be SWIYAA somehow just coming out on top. That Zarya beaming everything down, able to find 3 as the bomb comes through from Matt to find 1. It's looking like Night Ops are trying to equalize here. Actually, they do find 3, so this is an even 3-on-3 fight, which, as we know, does favor the defenders. It's looking like Night Ops somehow miraculously able to stabilize here.
Yeah, great plays from Kitson there, using that nano boost just to put onto Mac and Cheese, just swinging that big hammer of his, getting the team off that payload and applying damage as well. And then he also, Kitson also used that Bionade, means that the team SWIYAA couldn't not heal. So it meant that as Mac and Cheese was swinging that hammer, they couldn't apply more health towards the team and slowly went down and had to back off. And it was then Night Ops Academy getting that hold.
They did stabilize there, but now on the back of an EMP and a Shatter, it is looking like SWIYAA is right back on the offense. However, sound barriers both come through, so both teams with a bit of sustain here, and now the Graviton Surge coming in from Night Ops. So the EMP was successful in securing the Shatter, but right now it's about an even fight, and it's definitely looking like Night Ops could have the chance to stabilize here as a big Shatter comes through from Mac and Cheese, but it's answered with the Transcendent. He does fall. This fight is so back and forth. We see the DMAC coming onto Matt. Now Kiwi drops, Cadenza drops, and Smee follows. So Night Ops on the back of a very back and forth fight. Lots of back and forth picks. They are once again able to hold off SWIYAA Academy.
Yeah, and one thing I did notice there is that for every kill there was, Kitson was on the assist, so you can see he's applying this support to his team to make sure they can hold this, hold SWIYAA off from capturing the full point. So props to Kitson there, being a really good team player and supporting his team.
Absolutely, that Ana can be such a fight swinger with the Bionade, one of the best abilities, if not the best, just raw ability that isn't an ultimate that's in the game. We're seeing the effect of it right now, as both of these teams now moving once again to take another fight. There's about 40 seconds left, so if Night Ops is able to turn this into an extended fight, they could definitely hold off SWIYAA Academy in just one fight. We see the rally coming through now. SWIYAA doesn't want to kind of contest that rally. They're trying to back off a little bit, but now they apply the pressure with a big EMP followed by the Earth Shatter. That bomb does find Cadenza, however. It looked like the shield was up. Now both these teams, once again, back and forth, a pick for each, but that does favor the defenders. SWIYAA pushing up, looking for anything, but Hothead going to be the first to drop. Sound barrier now committed from Night Ops, and this is absolutely going to be the last fight. So the sound barrier comes through from SWIYAA, trying their best to equalize things. Mac and Cheese with a nano boost, swinging away at this team. Able to take down Smee, our Night Ops Academy, but a Transcendence saves the rest of SWIYAA. So still, no one really coming out on top as Mac and Cheese falling dangerously low, but the rally able to keep him up just enough to survive, back off a little and get that heal. It is 2 picks now coming through from Night Ops Academy. If this isn't able to secure it, I don't know what will, as the bomb does find another from Matt. 3 kills now for Night Ops, and it's going to be SWIYAA pushed off the point. So Night Ops Academy take our first map.
Yeah, what a final fight that was, just back and forth between pick after pick after pick. But it did seem that Night Ops, especially with this spawn advantage, was just applying more pressure and making sure that SWIYAA Academy couldn't apply too much pressure. Even though Hothead did use those EMPs, Night Ops Academy were prepared for them, and Dr. White was always in this back corner, also with Kitson applying the support, so it meant that he was applying this the heals towards his team, meaning they wouldn't go down as easily. You did see Mac and Cheese go down quite a few times then, but they always brought it back up. Due to the amount of support they had, especially with Naomi Smalls applying that rally, making sure his team was really alive. As you spoke about in just near the end, Mac and Cheese went dangerously low, but Naomi Smalls immediately pulled out that rally. It meant that Mac and Cheese had this health, and with the addition of Kitson also adding more health to him, meant that he was still able to be in the fight.
Definitely, and looks like we'll have a break in the action here as these teams get set up for the next map.
Yep, so it will be the next map will be Capture. So there's a choice between Ilios and Oasis. Capture game mode is a really good game mode because you get a variation of compositions. You can have the DPS heavy, you can also have the Ghost. You wouldn't necessarily see bunker composition in the Capture maps. You will almost maybe see the Death Ball composition, the May Reaper composition. However, that's more in the Legion Tower, but it could be possible that SWIYAA bring that the May Reaper composition out, as it does favor like high damage, getting the freezers onto the team, meaning they could be easy picks.
And obviously, if you're able to slow the enemy team down with a Reaper right behind you, May kind of freezing them, just slowing them down enough that the Reaper can get up to them and start getting that damage, and Reaper does such an immense amount of damage. Those 2 DPS can synergize so well, as we have seen before in the past. Definitely an interesting comp. Excited to see which control map we will be getting here.
Yeah. So Ilios is really a good map as well, because you do have the WoW. That WoW it can favor the ball and chain composition, which is the Roadhog and Orisa composition, another composition I didn't talk about there. And so you can use the hook to just drag them into the environmental, or use that ball, and you can get more than one character into there, and that could be really in the favor of the team that does that. So yeah, we'll probably see that composition. However, in the other compositions, other map variants, it'll be really interesting to see what we will see.
Definitely. That is one of the nice things about Ilios, is that, you know, there is that bunker-friendly well map. Everyone knows it is kind of the boop map, the giant hole in the ground, and it is a great map to play bunker because of those boops. Lots of jockeying for position. Ilios is great not only for that, but also because there's such a variance, I think, in what comps can be run. You often see a lot of Widowmaker on Ruins because it's such a wide open map. And then on Lighthouse, there's that kind of smaller roofed over point, but because it's so open around there, you can see Pharah as well. Lots of different options when it comes to DPS, or we could end up just seeing some classic 3-3.
probably pulled out by Night Ops, but with SWIYAA Academy, they are seeming to be more varied compositions. They do like to go to composition. However, one thing I like about Control is you have such a variation of compositions. So you might see two different teams compared to the last match we saw.
Definitely, it seemed like definitely after first point, what we were seeing for the most part was 3-3 mirror, or at least 3-3 versus 3-2-1. So sticking more with your classic goats variants, the Sombra goats versus the regular goats. I wonder if that's going to obviously be different as we are on the topic of compositions. And it looks like we are going to be heading in to the match. It will be taking place on Ilios. So, like we were just talking about, very excited to see what's.
Initiating match.
And it seems we will be going to Ruins first.
So as we talked about, Ruins very open, decent amount of high ground for Widowmakers to set up. Obviously, though, in situations with 3-3 composition, you don't see Widowmaker quite as much because you don't have as much opportunity with all the sustain, all those big bodies in there to really get the picks that you need to get the value out of the Widowmaker. So possible we could be seeing it, but again, it's difficult to say at this point.
Yeah, but we could see some Farah. Farah is a really good character on Ruins as well because it has the really open high skybox, and it is quite open, so you can be picked off by Widowmakers, as we are seeing from both teams. We see Hothead playing the Widowmaker, and he's going to be going up against Science on the Widowmaker for the Night Ops Academy team, so we're going to see some Widow v Widow battles. However, we do see Idilion on the Farah.
Farah as well, yes. And as we saw in the Stage 3 finals of Overwatch League, Shanghai Dragons dominating with Farah, with Widowmaker, with these compositions that do favor the DPS. So we are going to be seeing some DPS for both of these teams, Genji and Widowmaker, Farah. Very exciting stuff, and the Sombra as well. So both teams now, it looks like Night Ops is going to decide to make the switch over to a Winston Goats variant. So looking to counter those DPS with the use of the Winston, but still sticking to their tried and true 3-3 composition. The point unlocks, and because Night Ops did have to switch, it's looking like SWIYAA are going to be able to go ahead and cap that and get some percentage building. Night Ops were most likely expecting that, but they were not expecting Dr. White to get picked off by Hothead there. So opening things up with the Widowmaker is proving to be the better strategy, but now we see Mac and Cheese jumping in on that Winston, trying to put some damage into the Widowmaker, slow her down. A few picks coming through now. Naomi drops, but not without taking Smee with them. Hothead finds another on that Widowmaker, taking out Mac and Cheese. Not often you see the Widow take out the Winston. Eidolon now finds Kitsune, so picks are coming through from SWIYAA, and as we talked about, they were able to take first percentage. If they take this fight, they're going to be up around 50%, if not more, before the next fight even starts, as it does look like going to be forced to back off.
Yeah, most definitely. It seems that SWIYAA Academy were just a bit more good in position, and they had ideally on just applying that a bit more damage towards the team, just slowly drip feeding and peeling off the enemy team. And they had a Hothead just getting the good picks onto characters such as Mac and Cheese and Dr. White. Really good characters to get rid of. So great players and great positioning from SWIYAA Academy.
Absolutely, but now it is Night Ops coming out with a Widowmaker of their own, saying, hey, we can do it too, as Science takes out Hothead. Now we see a barrage from Eidolon, but before that, Cadenza drops and nothing with that barrage. So Night Ops Academy not thrown off by these DPS, coming through with DPS of their own, and looks like they're going to end up winning this fight, but not before a little bit of a stall comes through here from Smee on that Wrecking Ball. Hothead does find Science during the skirmish. I don't think that's going to be enough to turn the point, but they are managing to stall this out. It's looking like it's going to get up to right around 99 before Night Ops Academy is going to be able to take this point back. And now a bomb committed from Matt. I don't know if he was demech'd there. Cadenza dropping to that bomb. So they are finding the kills, but SWIYAA able to... SWIYAA gets to 99, and now they have 2 picks. They can come right back and take a quick fight here and potentially have the chance to just take this round. They're up 2, waiting for the rest of their team to come back before they engage. Night Ops playing safely with just the D.Va on point, trying to not allow themselves to get picked. The nano boost goes through onto Mac and Cheese. So Mac and Cheese currently just zapping down Cadenza on that Lucio. Not able to get the kill though. However, Science finds Tater as Matt is D-Max. So a couple back and forth picks here. Naomi finds Kiwi on the Sombra. Night Ops looking like they are coming out, and yes, as Eidolon drops, Night Ops will come out on top here. So 99% built up for SWIYAA, but Night Ops over the course of that fight up to 40% of their own.
Yes, they are slowly building up to that percentage. They are slowly going to go up to 50%. And it did seem that SWIYAA did have the ult advantage. However, Night Ops shown again how dominant they can be, especially being down on ult economy. So really good place on Night Ops, especially with Science getting a few picks, making a bit more press to Hothead.
And it definitely seems like with their backs against the wall, Night Ops is able to pull out some of these very clutch fights. It's very impressive. And let's see if they're able to do it again here. Committing the Dragon Strike. Doesn't look like it's able to find any kills, but kind of splitting up SWIYAA as we see the Brigida exposed there and taken out. So yes, the Dragon Strike does its job, able to split off the rest of the team from the Brigida, as Eidolon gonna drop there to the rest of Night Ops. Now Mac and Cheese just zapping a little bit, trying to build up for that Primal Rage as Cadenza finds a nice boop kill onto Matt.
Bye-bye, Matt.
So SWIYAA, yeah, bye-bye, Matt. SWIYAA looking to take the fight here. It is a 5v5 on points. Smee finds Naomi though, so... Oh, Tater the drop as well. It is very back and forth. Kills coming through from SWIYAA though. They're able to get the res from Dr. White, staying in this. And now a bomb kill finds Hothead, so... Continues to be back and forth. Right now, it's anybody's guess who's going to win this fight, but we do see a Primal Rage from Smee, knocking people around the point, making some space for the rest of SWIYAA as they find the D-Mech onto Matt. Matt drops, putting some pressure now onto Naomi on the Hanzo. We see a bomb come through, and finds absolutely nobody, but Smee does find Naomi. However, Dr. White coming through with the res onto Naomi. This fight is pick after pick after pick as Tater finds Science on the Tracer. Everyone just rushing back to point. 99 to 99. Dr. White going down is a huge pick for SWIYAA, however. Now Naomi falls as well. That's 2 picks for SWIYAA. They could very well win this fight at this point, especially with that Brigida on point. Swinging her mace, sustaining the rest of the team. Night Ops doing everything in their power to come out on top here, but Matt going to fall. Now applying pressure on a Kitsune on the Moira, falling as well. Down goes Mac and Cheese, and SWIYAA pulling out this final fight. Science doing everything they can on this Tracer, just trying to stall, and stall they have, as 3 members of Night Ops now on the point. This is a brawl if I've ever seen one. Naomi falls, Dr. White drops. Nothing in that Graviton Surge, but it's not gonna matter as SWIYAA takes the point and takes that round. What an incredible final fight.
Yeah, so many ultimates pulled out, and one thing I wanted to pick out there was the by Matt. It was a really good bomb. It just shows how good communication can be. He was by the ruin, he's by the temple, so he was just halfway from getting to the point, but he still threw the bomb over towards the point, and that's communicating with his team because he had no idea where the team was, SWIYAA was, so his teammates called it out, and so it meant that he could throw that bomb, and because they were on point, he got a pick. Not as many as he would like, but he still got the pick, and great plays by Matt there, especially being booped off by Tater there. No, Cadenza.
Oh yeah, that was obviously very unfortunate, but we have been seeing some great play from Matt so far. Looks like the team's going to be rolling out with a Goat's Mirror here with the Ana. Just kidding, there is a Mei in play, but the Mei is the first to fall. However, the answering pick is found under Dr. White on that Lucio. Now the Brigida taken out for the side of SWIYAA, so missing a lot of sustain there. It's going to be Mac and Cheese eventually dropping to Smee. Smee now goes down as well. So both main tanks down as SWIYAA are able to... Night Ops looking to turn this around though. A quick cap from SWIYAA, but now we see the rally coming through. They are going to be able to translate into a kill onto the enemy Zarya. Now focusing their attention on the Brigida, the Lucio, the Ana. A lot of healers here on point, but suddenly they are all gone as Night Ops takes out 3 and is able to flip this relatively quickly, only 22%. gained for SWIYAA Academy.
Yeah. One of the good things about the GOATS composition is, especially if you're down, which happened with Knights Academy with Mac and Cheese going down there, you still have 2 more tanks. You still had that Zarya and you still had the D.Va being played by Matt. So that means you have a greater health pool.
Now we see a big hammer down from Mac and Cheese, able to find 3 picks as a result of that. So a very quick fight won by Night Ops Academy. If you're SWIYAA Academy, obviously you're kind of happy that it was quick, but at the same time not too big of a commitment from Night Ops, so able to conserve a lot of key ultimates during that.
Yeah, and with SWIYAA Academy, they have got about 5 ultimates coming up, and especially with this Graviton Surge, and if comboed with Smee with that Shatter, a lot of ultimates coming out.
We see the Graviton coming out from Night Ops. The bomb finds 1, but in the midst of all that action, it is going to be SWIYAA coming around with 2 kills. Now, Earth Shatter blocked by the Mei wall. Mac and Cheese is nanoed right now. He does get pinned, however, by the opposing Reinhardt and eventually taken out, but not before both Smee and Hothead gonna fall for the side of SWIYAA. It does seem like Night Ops are going to be able to stabilize. They have a bit of an advantage in this fight, and definitely now off that boop from Dr. White. Night Ops Academy getting the better in this fight. It seems at this point, like if you're SWIYAA, you do just want to back off, either jump off that edge or get out of there, and they do just that.
Yeah, we agree, but they only have 1 fight left. But then again, it will means if Night Ops take this, it'll be 1-1, and so that means we will go to a 3rd map. So it isn't necessarily going to be a big loss for them, as they will go to a next map. However, it would be good as well if they did win this map.
That would be great. However, a huge Bionade able to come through, and Matt finds 2 kills on the back of it. So even though the grab was committed from SWIYAA, not able to find the necessary kills, and a Blizzard to go down on point, but no one else is there. It is just Eidolon on point, able to wall himself up, stalling as long as possible, but does eventually fall. Is anyone else going to be able to make it back in touch? I don't think so. And Night Ops even things up here on Ilios.
Yeah, getting to that 100%. That may try to stay on that point. However, they were the team was so already split, and the team were out of position. And Night Ops kind of just seen better positioning on the lighthouse. Just they stuck together. They wasn't all separate. Because one thing I noticed is when Welsh Kiwi during the second and nearest fight is that Welsh Kiwi and Eidolon both pushed up when the rest of the team was already back in spawn, so it meant that they had to stagger, and that meant that they had to wait for the Welsh Kiwi and Eidolon to regroup with the team.
And that did end up making a last fight there, which ultimately was their downfall. Now here we are on Welsh. So, as we expected, going to be seeing the Orissas, the Roadhog on the side of SWIYAA, but actually a Bastion coming out from Night Ops. So, exciting stuff that they are able to pick off Smee immediately. That is just the damage from the Bastion that's able to break that barrier, open the window for the pick to be found. However, with the use of Immortality Field, SWIYAA is able to find the Resurrection onto Smee. An even fight here so far, but the position battle definitely being won by Night Ops as they are set up on this point and only need a little more to get that first capture, which they do at the expense of Welsh Kiwi and Hothead, who both drop Kitsune with 2 huge picks there. Naomi now finds Cadenza, so Night Ops definitely getting the better of this first fight. The Bastion proving to be a big asset there, as well as Kitsune on that Zenyatta.
Yeah, we could be seeing a mini Jojonak here, played by Kitsune. Really good getting the picks, especially onto the characters on SWIYAA, and stopping them from be able to capture point, and they would make sure they were able to regroup. And we do see a few ultimates now. We do see Dr. White with his amplified matrix and Science on Matt McCree with that Deadeye.
Absolutely, and an amplification matrix combined with Deadeye and a Bastion ultimate can shut down a fight very quickly. We do see that Deadeye come out, as well as the configuration tank from Naomi on that Bastion. However, nothing being translated into kills thus far. They haven't used the amplification matrix, however, so they do still have that tool available. But we do see now a rocket barrage coming through, finding 2, Naomi and Dr. White both dropping as Eidolon eventually taken taken out, but able to find 2 with that rocket. Slight advantage now to SWIYAA Academy as they're trying to push up and find some positioning on point, and finally Kitsune taken out. However, answered with mac and cheese, sucking Cadenza right into that hole. Diva Bomb goes out. Smee does find Matt out of his mech after committing that bomb, and Science falls as well. So there will be a contest here from Night Ops, just trying to get as much percentage as possible, but SWIYAA eventually getting the better of that fight and starting to build their own percentage here on Well.
Yeah, we've seen a few changes now. Naomi Smalls is now changing the Hanzo, hence why she kind of sacrificed her there. She did feed a little bit to SWIYAA Academy, but then she got to change to the Hanzo. Really good player, especially with the Sonic Arrow, so you can get to see where the team's set up, especially with this kind of Orisa composition, so they know where they're going to position.
And we see the Deadeye come out, able to find the Pharah on the opposite side. That is going to get res now as Hothead takes out Kitsune. Naomi does drop to Smee, so a fight that started out well for Night Ops is looking much, much better for SWIYAA as they do find the kill onto Mac and Cheese now, and the D-Mech onto Matt. Does look like it's going to be Night Ops eventually ejected from this point. They are choosing to kind of contest this though. They're forcing a fight here that I don't know if they necessarily want to take. We see Science fall, the immortality field goes down. There are 4 members of Night Ops back towards spawn, only 2 on point. I'm interested in why they chose to take that fight there.
You can see Science there changing his character. He's now gone to the Widowmaker. Maybe to try counter this Pharah, but then again you still do have Nova Smalls, but it seems that we are seeing the double sniper composition being pulled out from Night Ops Academy.
And it is a good answer to that. Pharah obviously also able to put a barrier, but if Hothead gets onto your snipers, that's they're kind of toast with the Sombra. And we see Mac and Cheese taken out there by the Baptiste. Very interesting seeing the Orisa going down like that. However, Science finds a crucial answering kill onto Tater. No res available for SWIYAA right now. Kitsune, though, does drop from the side of Night Ops. So Smee on this Orisa finding the necessary kills. Down goes Eidolon, however. Science doing everything that they can to keep their team in this fight. Matt gonna get D-Mech, so it may be Science's best efforts in vain. The EMP now comes out from Hothead. Several members on the side of Night Ops now EMP'd. We see the amplification matrix as well from SWIYAA. The Diva Bomb sent through. Will it find any kills? It does find the Orisa and the immortality field. Down goes Dr. White. Down goes Matt. Kitsune drops into the hole. Barrage committed, and that will be the point taken by SWIYAA, evening up our series at 1 up.
Yeah, great plays from SWIYAA Academy there. Had the better position. It seemed that Night Ops Academy just didn't have their footing. They were a bit spread out. You had few on the high ground, you had the Orisa on the low ground. So it seemed they were a bit spread out, and Night Ops Academy, SWIYAA just applied the pressure towards the low ground because they wasn't having too much pressure from the high ground. So they had the better positioning on the SWIYAA side, so on the windmill map there.
They definitely had a positioning advantage, and I think a lot of that lended itself to Night Ops playing kind of scattered. You saw a few situations there where Night Ops kind of were staggering in, taking fights that they shouldn't have. They weren't working together as a unit, which definitely led to their downfall on Ilios.
Yeah, most definitely, but we could see the comeback as we will be going to a halftime now. We're going for a halftime break. It'll be a 10-minute break, whilst Night Ops Academy will choose their next map out of Paris and Volskaya, the assault map. But see you in 10 minutes. Ezio and the Xenia.
We are live.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Overwatch Pretenders Finals. We have Night Ops Academy versus SWIYAA Academy. Currently at 1-1, drawing up the fight as Night Ops did take Ilios, and Hollywood was taken by SWIYAA.
Other way,
I
but
said.
Night Ops took Hollywood. SWIYAA took Ilios.
Oh yes, sorry, my bad. But as I said, I am your colorcaster, Brilliant Frame, and joined to me with Griffins. How do you feel about the first before halftime?
This has been such an incredible match to watch, such an incredible match to cast. The back and forth fights, just we saw it on the last fight of Ilios. Well, we saw it in a lot of the third point fights on Hollywood. Just really, you just see picks one after the other, both sides just doing everything they can to stay in these fights. It's very clear that both of these teams want this so much, and they're doing everything they can to take this final.
Yeah, most definitely. And we are seeing a few swaps now for Night Ops Academy with DC Major Scott swapping from Dr. White and Limbo swapping for Science. So a few changes on Night Ops Academy does seem to be like favouring the GOATS composition. So we'll probably see that from the Night Ops Academy. And we might probably see the Mirror from SWIYAA as well with Hothead on the Sombra.
It's definitely a possibility. It is important to note, however, that we are headed to Paris next for our assault map. Paris, obviously known for being a very, very strong bunker map. It'll be interesting to see whether or not either of these teams opt to go towards that, or if they stick with 3-3, the Sombra Goats, what they've been kind of sticking with for the most part so far.
Yeah, most definitely. It seems that SWIYAA are going to be picking the defense first. So it means that they are pretty confident on the defense. So they probably already know what they're going to pull out. And Night Ops probably already know that they are going to bring out this GOATS composition. We do see, as I've been looking, Limbo does favour the Zarya, so we'll probably see him on the Zarya. He was a pretty good Zarya player on the semi-finals match against Unknown Academy. So we'll probably see him bring that. We'll probably see Mac and Cheese backheads again with that Reinhardt, and Kitson, really good player on this Anna, as we've seen in the previous matches. He's popping off. If he's not getting the kills, he's always assisting with the kills, always in that kill feed.
Definitely landing some huge anti-nades on the Ana, as well as we just saw them getting quite a few picks on the Zenyatta as well. So really great flex support play from Kitsune. Looking towards the tank battle, from what we've seen so far, Mac and Cheese looks really strong on the Reinhardt. But I was very, very impressed with the Orisa play on Ilios Well that we saw from Smee. What has your take been on this main tank matchup so far?
Yeah, it seems to be both Titans going up against each other. Mac and Cheese going up against me. Both with that, especially when the Reinhardt plays, they both got counter Earth Shatter. As soon as one goes down, another one comes out. So it's seeming really even. Sometimes Smee is looking to be on the edge, but then Mac and Cheese immediately comes back and brings out his starts getting over the edge. So it's really even. I can't wait to see the rest of the match to see these two battle it out.
I can't wait as well, and it looks like we're not going to have to wait too much longer, as we are heading into App 2CP, as some like to call it. Not everyone's favorite map type from what the community seems to think, but I think it's really great when it comes to specifically like very competitive, coordinated Overwatch. Maybe not for ladder play, but watching a good assault match in a more coordinated setting like this, really, really interesting, really, really fun.
Yeah, most definitely, especially with the picks, like as we've been seeing, like the back and forth, it can make a game much more interesting. The steamrolls can be good for the team as it seems more that's winning, but it's not really good for the audience to watch. So these back and forth fights is much more entertaining to watch.
Absolutely. So the teams are now getting set up here in spawn. We're gonna kind of be able to see what they're choosing to go with, and it does look like SWIYAA are going to opt for this bunker composition.
Yeah, and we do see quite a DPS heavy composition played by Night Ops Academy with Matt on the Hanzo, Dimbo on the Farah, Major Scott on the Tracer, and Mac and Cheese coming from that main tank and playing to that Widow. He might not stick onto it a bit and go to the Hammond, but it'd be interesting to see him on that Widow as we have lost Science.
5, 4,
It would be interesting. I do feel that they're going to end up going for the Hammond because this isn't a new composition for them. We did see this on First Point Hollywood as well, trying to crack open the bunker. And yes, Mac and Cheese going to go over to that Hammond. So we've seen this from them. Their counter to the bunker is to play these more heavy DPS compositions, rain in the damage from all different angles. We'll see how it's able to work here on this First Point of Paris. As the action kicks off, Mac and Cheese rolling right through that choke. Perhaps it's going to pressure from and could even touch point if necessary to just kind of turn the heads of SWIYAA Academy set up here on this high ground. As Major Scott following behind as well. So multiple players heading into the Boar Knight, opting to the ground, keep the mention was they have no choice as Mac and Scott on the point. Sends a couple deal with that as they keep up there on the high. That comes through on to make things much more SWIYAA Academy. They choose to fight. He found first to draw. However, Kiwi gonna get rezzed, and now Mac Red Trap is going to Naomi just trying to get out of there, ducking behind the not the cart, sorry, the little car over on the side of point. And eventually able to get out. So it does look like even though the hack went on to Smee there, it was a scary situation, SWIYAA was able to eventually get themselves back set up here on point.
And one thing I liked about what Night Ops Academy did there is they used the fast, high mobility characters to try and get the SWIYAA Academy onto the point, so it allowed the Limbo and Kitsun to get onto the point and start applying damage. They stayed back and let the high mobility characters get onto the point and bring out the SWIYAA Academy from the defense.
And they were successful in doing that much. It seemed at least that they've now gotten them off of that high ground down onto point, but things are not going well for them as we just saw Mac and Cheese drop, followed by another player from Night Ops Academy. So despite kind of succeeding in changing the positioning of SWIYAA, they haven't succeeded in doing much else. However, Naomi on point now gets the hack onto Hothead on the Bastion and goes immediately in with that EMP. Dragon Strike committed as well. The ults are just coming faster and faster. The barrage does find Hothead, but not before Limbo drops as well. The res onto Limbo means that Night Ops does have a slight edge in this fight. Now a boop onto Cadenza. Night Ops pulling things out here. The tank's still set up on point for SWIYAA. But as more and more damage comes in, the Welsh Kiwi gonna get DMAC. Tater eventually gonna drop. Just 2 players left for SWIYAA on point, and they are going to get cleaned up very quickly. Night Ops Academy, eventually, only a minute left, but eventually taking first point here on Paris.
Yeah, and with the recent patch notes, they instead of getting, I think it's 4 minutes, they only get 3 minutes now. So a minute away, taken away, so it means they have to be a bit quicker. And they are making a few changes now, going to this classic Ghost composition with the addition. Oh, maybe not. Just there we go.
It looks like it's going to be a Baptiste Goat. This was a strategy devised by the San Francisco Shock in the Overwatch League, running a variant with the Baptiste. Obviously, Rascal, an incredible Baptiste player, if you're familiar with the Overwatch League. Let's see how it works out for Night Ops Academy. Pushing in on this right side. Just jockeying for position here a little bit. The Bastion for SWIYAA is going to be set up on this high ground towards the back of the point, raining in damage, just destroying that Reinhardt barrier. And now the Supercharger committed as well, so a lot of damage going to be coming through from Night Ops Academy looking to kind of circle around here. And Kiwi actually demec'd by Matt, so an excellent pick there onto the mech. However, Hothead on this Bastion says, that's not going to matter. Let me just find 2 picks here. Major Scott with a double boop kill. It's back and forth once more, but the final picks are coming through for SWIYAA Academy. Hothead uncontested on this Bastion for the most part, just going to find kill after kill after kill. And SWIYAA is going to be able to stabilize with 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes remaining in this first round on Paris.
It kind of fell apart as soon as Naomi Smalls and his Baptiste went down because the addition of the Immortality Field, I think it was that they were trying to do is get the Immortality Field on towards where the Bastion is set up so they can be able to push up without being, so they can still stay alive, especially with the Immortality Field, give you and making sure you don't die. It's really good as you can continuously apply that pressure towards the Bastion and harassing him so he has to either get out of position or die.
And losing that Baptiste, obviously a pretty huge blow, not able to accomplish all of that. Now, it looks like Night Ops going to be coming through with a similar strategy, coming around on that side of point. However, they're going to lose Limbo on the way in. That is very unfortunate. Cadenza does drop, though, on the side of SWIYAA, who are now going to commit that configuration tank from the Bastion, looking to just find the D-Mech onto Matt. Matt is going to be D-Mech, going to commit the Diva Bomb here, which does find Hothead. So despite things initially going wrong for Night Ops, they are kind of finding some picks here. However, Kitsune going down is going to slow down this push substantially as the Immortality Field drops as well. In all honesty, I would imagine that Night Ops just want to end this and either die or get out of there as quickly as possible. The picks have all been coming through from SWIYAA, and now, yes, Hothead taking out Matt, taking out Mac and Cheese. Down goes Major Scott. So another sort of ick from Night Ops there that they are not able to get the better of, and now only a minute left.
Yeah, so they just seem to be going around to this, trying to flank around the right, and it seems not to be working out for them. And as you can see where SWIYAA Academy is positioned, they seem to be more towards that right, because Night Academy have done that twice now, and they are going to go do it again, and SWIYAA Academy seem to be prepared for that, and all aiming towards that right, or depending on where you're looking at it, left area, and just applying that damage.
It is interesting that Night Ops have tried this multiple times now. It seems like this is the strategy they want to go with. They want to make this work coming around through that side. They commit the Transcendence there. Now the D-Mech onto Matt. Mac and Cheese finds Hothead, though. That's a huge pick. Smee now going down too, so picks coming through. However, Eidolon with a 2K with that Riptire is probably going to be able to stabilize things from small. Comes, well, Kiwi doesn't find anything. Eidolon does drop. So Night Ops not out of this yet. A grab committed here, however, going to find two. Yes, so Night Ops doing an excellent job of staying in this fight. Down goes Cadenza. Night Ops may have just swung this around. The hem install is there from Smee. It might not be enough though. Eidolon drops. A big Earth Shatter does not connect with anything. Smee does go down, however, just when it looks like things were not going their way, all they have to do is deal with these respawns. However, the respawns are tricky as we have a Tracer, a Lucio, the Mei as well. Two of them now drop. Down goes the Lucio. A Doomfist in last-ditch effort here, but it is not going to be enough. These last few kills are coming through for Night Ops. We do see the Diva Bomb coming through in a final effort to close out the point. All they have to do is deal with the Hammond, and they are able to do just that. So we once again see that clutch factor from Night Ops, able to pull out that last fight and capture both points.
Yeah, so they've managed to get that Baptiste Immortality Field into the position they wanted, and as soon as that was ready, the addition of the Transcendence means they had more health being applied, and it meant that they could apply more pressure towards the bunker composition, and then ultimately it meant that the bunker position got destroyed, and it meant that the Night Ops Academy could finally take the point and win them the match. No, sorry. Sorry.
It was very interesting there. It did seem like the picks were coming through from SWIYAA, especially when the Riptire came through. It did seem like that was going to be the end of the push for Night Ops, but they used their ults very intelligently and were able to come out with that fight in the end. And coming into this second round, it looks like Night Ops as well going to be opting for this bunker comp with the Bastion, Baptiste, this time with a Torbjorn, which I don't believe we saw from SWIYAA on their defense. We'll see how that factors into things. And I think perhaps more interestingly than that, we're seeing a double main tank setup with Matt on the Winston and Mac and Cheese on the...
Yeah, and the great thing about the Trojan is depending on where he applies his turret, he can continuously apply damage towards the characters, especially characters such as Farah or Mercy. You have to kind of stay hidden away from this turret until it is destroyed. So Trojan is a really good character, especially for characters such as Farah.
Starting off, we see an early pick on Eidolon. That's going to get rezzed right up, however, so not too much damage done there. Looks like they've set up their Bastion bunker over here on the side rather than that immediate high ground right through the choke. Perhaps not trying to get ejected from the high ground the same way that they were able to do to SWIYAA. Matt just kind of tickling the enemy team there with his Tesla cannon, just trying to build up that Primal Rage as much. And right now it's looking like a pretty solid defense from Night Ops. SWIYAA perhaps not really sure what to do against this.
Yeah, because they got the addition of the wall behind them, so if it gets too much, that Bastion just could pull back a little bit and just get into a bit more cover, especially with the when they had the Farah. They have now changed the Hanzo to apply a bit more damage, especially with his arrows. However, they still got the addition of this little room just to hide into, and we got Matt here just being out on his own, just to apply a bit more pressure and keeping them in this choke point here.
Yes, Matt playing a very smart Winston here, not ever taking too much damage, more than he can handle, just doing little bits of damage, building up that Primal Rage, and more importantly, making space, just bothering SWIYAA Academy so that Limbo can come through on this Bastion and do what he... Now we are seeing SWIYAA trying to push through this little room here towards the side of the choke. It creates an even smaller choke here there, however, so SWIYAA just kind of standing there at the time being. It really seems like they're not sure what they want to do against this, perhaps building some ultimates, trying to get some poke in, but difficult to get any poke through this Orisa barrier.
Yeah, most definitely. It seems that, as you keep saying, SWIYAA are just caught in the back into a wall here. Don't know how to. Oh, here we go. They're pushing up.
They are gonna dive in, but we see the Molten Core coming through from Naomi. Safe little barrier between SWIYAA and their Bastion there, but Smee coming through with the Primal Rage does eventually find Major Scott. So despite losing Kiwi, it does seem like SWIYAA are beginning to find their footing as Eidolon takes down Limbo, so none of that huge Bastion damage going to be coming through, but Tater now taken down on the side of SWIYAA. So, story of this game, we are seeing back and forth picks here. Now the Nano Boost committed onto Mac and Cheese, trying to take down Smee on this Winston. Smee dropping so low, but managing to stay alive as Matt finds the kill onto Eidolon. Now the Torbjorn turret set up on point. Naomi finds two, and SWIYAA have been pushed back. Things seem like they were really going their way in that fight, but in the end, you cannot underestimate the clutch factor of Night Ops Academy.
Yeah, most definitely. With 40 seconds left on the time bank for SWIYAA Academy, they have to pull out something. They do have the Diva Bomb, really good ultimate for clearing off the point, and they do have this the Dragon Strike from Eidolon. So if they can split up this team and get the picks on from the Diva Bomb and the Hothead with the CMP, means they could take this point.
We see the Dragon Strike committed now. Eidolon gives his life to get that off, but it does end up finding Mac and Cheese. However, Hothead drops without being able to use the EMP. This is final fight, and it looks like SWIYAA will not have their EMP. They're going to have to do without it. Picks being traded back and forth. The Torbjorn ultimate committed. Limbo now in that configuration tank finds a kill onto Cadenza. All that's left is Smee on the Winston, and Eidolon coming through on the Hammond, but immediately taken out by the Bastion and Major Scott on this Baptiste. There's that EMP, but it is far too late as Hothead going to be taken out. All that is left for SWIYAA at this point are these remaining staggers. Kiwi not doing anything, and just a Lucio. But we do have a Primal Raging Winston in Matt, going to be pushing people off the point, so even the staggers not able to come through. And it is going to be Night Ops Academy taking pair.
Yeah, great plays from Night Ops Academy there. Just using that Bastion, using that Torp Drum as well. Really good plays from Naomi Smalls. That Torp Drum was a turret, which is applying a bit more damage towards the team, especially with his. So it means that the damage is applied to certain characters. and slowly wearing them down. And so when they went into a fight, they had the lower health than they could when going into a big fight. And health is a really good big feature in any game, especially in Overwatch.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to the Torbjorn, SWIYAA were trying to deal with that bunker setup, that bastion, with a dive, and one of the best things that a Torbjorn turret can do is to just target those divers, put on consistent damage, kind of just bother them from a different angle or even from the same angle, just not allowing them to do what they want to do.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a great place from Night Ops Academy. And the next map, we will be going to an escort map, which will either be Rialto or Route 66. Both great maps for the bunker composition as well. So we might be able to see some Naomi Smalls playing that Torbjorn again, or we might be able to see them play the Goats composition again.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see which map we'll be getting.
So out of Overwatch is a really good game, and it has lots of maps in it. What's your favorite map in the
My
Overwatch?
favorite map. Honestly, I don't think there's a ton of people who share this opinion. I love Rialto.
Same, I actually love that map as well.
It is actually in our. I didn't intend for this at all. It is actually a potential pick for our map 4 here. But I love Rialto. Rialto first is probably, I would say, absolutely my favorite point in Overwatch. I think it's really cool with kind of the bridges and the high grounds, and there are a lot of long sight lines that can be used for snipers, for like a Zenyatta trying to put in a lot of damage. There's just, I think the kind of the geometry, the architecture of Rialto is really, really interesting. Obviously, this commentary is going to feel a little null if we end up not getting Rialto, but it is my favorite map.
Yeah, and it's also aesthetically it's really pleasing. You got the nice lighting, really bright compared to other maps like King's Row. So it's a nice different side of Overwatch, especially with the bright lights. And seems that we might be going to Rialto.
So obviously, we are very excited about that.
Yes, Rialto it is.
Yes, we are heading to Rialto. You can see snipers here, definitely. I think in the GOATS meta and, at Overwatch League level, a lot of teams opted to just go ahead and run with a GOATS composition, a 3-3 composition. But it definitely does lend itself, those long sight lines, those high grounds, to doing snipers if either of these teams wants to go that route.
Yeah, most definitely. Because especially with you going out of spawn, you have just a straight line, and if you go to the hotel, you have that high ground as well, and so it means there's better positioning for the Widowmaker. Or sometimes we do see some Ashe being played as well. Ashe can be a really good character as well, especially when getting into these team fights. You can bring out Bob. He can actually do something and be able to support your team.
Definitely. It looks like we do have a substitution here, as it's going to be Just Butters coming in for Matt on the side of Night Ops Academy, as well as it looks like Night Ops are going to be defending here first.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see if they so Just Butters is from the change. So you point see some more diva play, or because Matt was playing a diva, or will we be seeing something different from Just Butters? Yeah.
That is very true. It did seem like Matt was their diva specialist, so perhaps Just Butters coming in does suggest that we're going to be seeing something different here.
Yeah, looking at his profile, he does play diva quite a bit, but he also does play characters such as Roadhog and Orisa. So we could see a different composition being played here, especially on the first point with the Orisa. You can use that and the ball to just get them off to the bridge and getting the environmental kills. And if you can get characters such as a Reinhardt, it'd be really in the favor of Night Ops Academy.
Absolutely. You do see in kind of a traditional GOATS comp a lot of these not so mobile, easily booped heroes. So if one team wants to run an Orisa or anything really that can displace the enemy, that bridge is a dangerous place for a GOAT's composition.
Yeah, most definitely. Also, you could see some Farah being played as well. She can just jump between different positions, different ways to get around, especially on defense, sorry, because you have 3 ways to get in towards around to the defending team, and the Farah can be really good counter, because especially with the narrow pathways, especially on the left and right hand side, that Diva and the Farah and the concussion blast can stop that push from being applied. So just good communication between the teams, just so that Farah can see what way they're coming across, and that will allow them to stop the team attacking to get behind them. So good communication is going to be key here, especially on a map like Rialto.
Absolutely, and if you want to run that Pharah, the communication definitely factors in if the other team is choosing to run a sniper, because one of the great things about Rialto as a map is that while snipers are very strong here, there's a ton of rooftops and areas for a Pharah to hide, and as long as their team is letting them know where the enemy snipers are set up, a Pharah can put in a lot of damage on a map like Rialto.
Yeah, most definitely. So hopefully soon we'll be getting into the match. So this could possibly be the last match of the day. If Night Ops Academy do take Rialto, because they are currently at 2-1 against SWIYAA Academy. So it's in the favour of Night Ops Academy, but SWIYAA could take it back and could possibly go to a tiebreaker.
This is match point, but if I'm being perfectly honest, I would love for this to go to another map. More Overwatch, bonus Overwatch here. Obviously, Night Ops could just take the whole thing, but I think it'd be fun to see a 5th map.
Yeah, most definitely. More Overwatch is always a win for me.
And looks like we're about to be getting some more Overwatch as we are heading in to Rialto.
Yeah. The one thing I noticed in Rialto is there's no pizza places. It's based in Italy and there's no pizza places. Liz, I request a pizza place, please.
Yeah, Blizzard, you gotta get on this. Where can we put a pizza place? I say we don't need a museum. What if we just convert attacker spawn into a pizza joint? Who needs some dusty old museum, right?
Yeah, mostly I definitely prefer the pizza over a museum.
All right, so our team's going to be selecting their compositions at the moment. It is going to be, as we said before, Night Ops starting off on the defense. And it looks like they're going to be going with a kind of, it's a multi-DPS comp with a Winston rather than the Wrecking Ball this time. Perhaps fearing multiple DPS on the other team. Winston obviously very good at dealing with squishies, at dealing with multiple DPS heroes. We do see, interestingly enough, it's going to be a double sniper, Ashe and Widowmaker alongside of Pharah.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting here. And as the Ashe does have like more hit than Widow, does less damage, but so it's going to be interesting to see. We do see Limbo playing that Widow and Just Butters playing the Ashe.
So the action kicking off rounds this first point. No action on the bridge, unfortunately. No big boops. A little disappointed, but that's all right. Now we're gonna see the rockets just being rained in right now from Naomi, but as I say that, Hothead with a big pick to start things off, and Major Scott stunned by the Brigida, taken out by the whip shot, so the farmer in quick fashion. Now Mac and Cheese just doing everything he can at this point to build up towards a Primal Rage. Obviously that Tesla cannon not going to be taking anything down, especially in a heavy sustained composition like this, but he is able to build up a lot of ultimate charge just from zapping him like this. The cart continues to be pushed forward. Now the Pharmacy back on the side of Night Ops. Mac and Cheese taking a nap and does eventually get purpled there by the Ana. He has the nano boost on him, however, and taking Welsh Kiwi very low. Eventually does finish off Welsh Kiwi. However, in the fray, Major Scott, Mac and Cheese, and Kitsune all to fall. Naomi answers with a pick on Hothead, but it's most likely not going to be enough as that payload is just a few meters away, less than 1 meter actually. And we see SWIYAA eventually able to take.
Yeah, Hothead there getting those few hits, applying the damage, making sure he's not too far in front. One thing that Nightos kind of tried to do there is use the courtyard as like a firing range, so they had open grounds to try and fire. However, with the addition of Smee playing that with Reinhardt, it can be really hard, as that big shield can stop a lot of bullets from hitting.
Now we see the Primal Rage coming through from Mac and Cheese, who does a boop kill, swinging those massive arms to knock Cadenza off. Now Welsh Kiwi stunned up, so looks like Night Ops finding their footing here, pushing SWIYAA back a little bit. They do eventually take down Eidolon, so SWIYAA doing everything they can to just get out of here. But as I say that, Mac and Cheese perhaps overextending a little bit. He got slept and then hit with a bio nade, and SWIYAA are just going to push this one right back. Big hack now onto Major Scott. Major Scott taken out, and SWIYAA have just swung this immediately around. Bit of attacker's advantage factoring into that as their respawns are able to get here faster, but I would say a bit of an overextension on the part of Mac and Cheese. And the action just going to continue as both rallies go out. Now both nano boosts as well. So we've got two electrified Reinhardt swinging back and forth, trying to find any damage as well as protect their teams. In the end, though, no picks are going to be found. We see an EMP as well as a Graviton Surge come through. Nothing to be found, though. Despite all of these ultimates being thrown out, no kills found. Now, however, a big hammer down, but the sound barrier to answer. Now a Graviton Surge. The ults are flowing like wine, and Cadenza, 2 with a Bionade. It is eventually going to be SWIYAA coming out on top of a fight that I cannot even put into words.
Both main attacks showing again how strong they are. Ultimate after ultimate, shatter after earth shatter. Both doing towards each other. EMP was pulled out from Hothead there, but unfortunately wasn't backed up. But then immediately, ultimates being from the Welsh Kiwi there, the Graviton Surge, grabbing the team together and allowing Cadenza to get that big Bionade onto the Night Ops Academy, and mainly they couldn't heal.
Absolutely. So we see a rally coming through from Night Ops, but the later rally from SWIYAA means that they're going to have a bit of an advantage from this fight, and now committing their nano boost as well as a big Bionade hits Night Ops. Now it's followed up on by an EMP that finds multiple members, the hammer down to follow. So a great combination of ults there is just going to wipe Night Ops off at this point, send them all back to spawn, and I don't know if they're going to make it back.
They might just make it back to contest it. However, it's going to be a really hard challenge.
No.
Unfortunately, they didn't.
It was actually, it looked like Mac and Cheese was coming back with the Rhine charge, but gets slept, no one able to touch, and that was an extremely fast push on Rialto from SWIYAA Academy.
Yeah, most definitely. It's got to be heartbreaking for Night Ops Academy. However, it's going to be really interesting to see how Night Ops Academy will answer back to this. They could get a faster time, or will SWIYAA Academy have a stronger defense and take it to map and possibly take Rialto?
It definitely seems like a possibility at this point. SWIYAA was the coordination on that push was incredible. You just saw, especially on that last fight, it was, they had the later rally. They were able to then push forward off of that. Nano boost goes onto the Reinhardt. Then the EMP comes through, followed by the Earth Shadow. So just ultimate after ultimate after ultimate, all in a row, one after the other, to just secure all of those kills. Really excellent ultimate play there from SWIYAA Academy.
Yeah, most definitely. Since the composition is being played now in the second round, is Mirror Goats with Hothead actually being on the Widow. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this is being played out.
definitely, especially seeing as you have the traditional goats composition, and then something of a 3-2-1, but not with the Sombra, with a Widowmaker instead.
Yeah, and we do see Noma Smalls going to a quick change there onto the May. Really interesting character to be picked out here.
Stop the payload.
Perhaps, but now going back onto the Brigida, so it is just going to end up being a 3-3 here. Night Ops Academy pushing forward over the bridge once again. Unfortunately, no action taking place on the bridge. Now the Reinhardt's duking it out, swinging those big hammers. Limbo pushing forward, so Night Ops finding our footing here a little bit more, using those Zarya bubbles. However, it's going to be a Bionade that comes through and hits Mac and Cheese, so he has to back off real quick. The heal deny from that very needs to be taken down, but now able to survive and push forward. No picks so far. Mac and Cheese dropping low again, and so quick with that Earth Shatter. Smee builds an extremely fast Earth Shatter that's able to go ahead and find 2 picks for the side of SWIYAA Academy. Finishing off Just Butters means that Night Ops is going to be sent right back to spawn.
Yeah, but we see Mac and Cheese now with his own Earth Shatter, so it could be interesting to see how this is going to be pulled down. We've seen this time and time again. These Mac and Cheese and Smee battling out to see who's the better main tank player. And it's really interesting, these two fighting it out.
And it looks like that's what we're going to be seeing again. A Fire Strike goes through from the side of his turn with the Earth Shatter, and a Bionade should mean that we are going to see Smee go down, but no! The Nano Boost just in time saves Smee. Mac and Cheese with a Nano Boost of his own, however, pushes forward. Smee with another Earth Shatter finds 5, 6 in that? What an incredible Earth Shatter. He's building them faster than anything I've ever seen. However, the sound barrier was able to stabilize for Night Ops, so no picks to be found off of that huge ultimate. Now Just Butter's going to be demeched. So SWIYAA dominant on this defense as they find Naomi as well. Pick after pick coming through from SWIYAA. They are looking extremely coordinated and extremely strong, though as I say that, it did seem like Eidolon was a bit too far pushed forward, but he is able to escape with the help of that Zarya bubble.
Yeah, it seemed really interesting. It seems that SWIYAA are having a better defense, and Knives can't seem to find their footing. They're getting these ultimates out, but they're not being backed up, and now they're taking a different approach here.
Heading around through this back hallway could be a good idea, as finally Smee does miss with the Earth Shatter. Both Reinhardt's do, and now we see a Graviton Surge followed by the Sound Barrier. Diva Bomb finds nothing. Both rallies out from these teams. They are committing everything that they've. As a result of that, lots of support ults coming out and no picks to be found yet. The EMP able to find all 6 members of Night Ops Academy. Will there be any follow-up? Nothing yet. And now a sound barrier comes through. A huge Bionade. It's Smee, the hero of this map, with another massive Earth Shatter. Smee is destroying all of Night Ops Academy right now.
Yeah, really good place from Smee there, especially with this narrow pathway. He used that to his advantage. With Mac and Cheese not able to bring up his shield, he used that opportunity and it took it, and it paid out really well. And one thing to notice is because they were on this right-hand side alleyway or narrow passageway, no one was on the point. So whilst all that fight was happening, that point was not moving.
That point was not moving at all, and it has not this whole round. 30 seconds remaining, and a Graviton Surge coming out from SWIYAA. If they can convert this into kills, this could be devastating for Night Ops, but they... Unbelievable! Tater comes through! There's the boop we were looking for as Tater finds 2. Does eventually give his life, but what a huge play from the support on SWIYAA Academy. There's the Earth Shatter, a 4-man Shatter! That's gonna be it! Smee has absolutely dominated this map. It does look like Night Ops are going to be able to come back. However, the EMP just proving to be too much. Mac and Cheese dropping dangerously low. Limbo falls. No health left for Mac and Cheese. Down he goes. It's just 2 supports left on point for Night Ops, and that is not going to be enough to sustain this. As SWIYAA Academy, on the back of an incredible performance by Smee, is able to take Rialto and send us to a 5th map.
Yes, I agree with you. Smee there with those Earth Shatters were beautiful. He's getting player of the game as well, showing why he can. Earthshatter after
He
Earthshatter.
just
As soon as Makatis brought out he brought out his, and he was showing he was a pretty more dominant Reinhardt during his Rialto fights.
and it wasn't even Mac and Cheese was missing his shatters and Smee was hitting his. Smee, it seemed like, had twice the shatters, was just building them over and over and over again. Mac and Cheese had no answer.
Yeah, and when the calling cards came out, it turned out he did 27 Earthshatter stuns. Amazing stats for a Reinhardt player.
And it's worth noting that not only is that an incredible statistic for a Reinhardt player, but the attack for Night Ops didn't even get past first or even come close. So that was all just in one full offense push and then one first point hold. He managed to get all of those Earthshatter stuns. Incredible.
Yeah, incredible plays. And now we will be going to a tiebreak map, which will be Oasis.
You really can't ask for much more. The finals going to a fifth map, tied up at 2-2. We've seen incredible plays from everyone on both of these teams. You can't ask for anything more than a match like this.
Yeah, most definitely. You could see why it's the finals. Both teams are batting out, showing they want to be winners. They want to be the Overwatch Pretenders tournaments winners of 2019. It's just turning out great, and I can't wait to see this last match.
Absolutely. I believe it is going to be on Oasis. Yes.
Because we
So
played
Oasis. Yeah, we played Ilios already, so it is going to be going to Oasis. Oasis, definitely an interesting map as well. It has one of my favorite points in Oasis University, which definitely more of a brawly point. I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of Reinhardt play there.
Yeah, most definitely. Probably Smee bringing it out again with those big Earthshatters.
Absolutely. Excited to see if he can keep up that extremely high level of play that we've seen from, that we just saw on Rialto. If he can, I can't imagine that Night Ops Academy is going to, stand much of a chance, at least on University, where Reinhardt is so strong.
Yeah, and now we have a few changes now. We do see Dr. White back on to the Night Ops Academy, and Matt back swapping from Just Butters. So we're going back to the teams that we saw earlier.
And that does make sense, not just from a map perspective, but it did seem like Night Ops was having more success with this particular, roster in than Just Buzzers and Major Scott. Obviously, no shade towards them. I think they played incredible, but especially in a final like this, you have to go with what was working.
Yes, most definitely. Try fix what M broke. So it seems like Night Ops Academy are going back to it, and we'll probably see Matt on that Diva and Dr. White on that Lucio.
Absolutely. We should be getting into the map here in just a bit. We talked about obviously Oasis University. Then you have Gardens as well, where you can see quite a bit of Pharah play if either of these teams would like to go with that. Oasis Gardens, definitely kind of a defender's advantage. You see it pretty often that if a team gets set up and locked onto that point, it's very, very difficult for the other team to come back and retake in any short amount of time.
Yeah, most definitely. Depending on where you are, if you have on the high ground, if you go onto the little mid ground or the low ground, you definitely have more advantages. And so it depends on where that team is. Also, if you can continuously move around that point, you always have that middle pillar to support you from the Earth Shatters, Diva Bombs, the EMPs. So using the map to your advantage is a really good feature.
Look fun. The big question is here. The big question here is: are we going to see the Smee that we saw on Rialto?
I'm hoping so. He was really good, and I'm hoping to see it again. However, we'll probably see some Goats composition on this on University, because it does kind of favor in Goats composition. Because just the open ground and good Earth Shatters from both players. So it's going to be really interesting and ready for this fight.
Absolutely. Now just a few more seconds until our teams are going to start choosing their compositions. Does look like Night Ops Academy are going to immediately lock in their traditional 3-3 with the Ana. Kitsune obviously performing very well on the Ana in this match so far. Looks like perhaps SWIYAA opting for a different composition with some more DPS. We'll have to see if they stick with this.
So it seems they've gone for the ball and chain composition, the Roadhog and Orisa composition for SWIYAA Academy. So using that, just hooking in, and they do also have the Farah being played by Idolion, and Hothead playing that McCree. Really good characters to play.
Especially if you hook someone in, you can stun them up with McCree Flashbang. We'll have to see if they're able to, land these halt hooks. But it is going to be Night Ops just aggressing right away. However, Mac and Cheese booped right down into the hole. Obviously not as effective as Ilios well, but still gets him out of the fight. Smee is going to fall, but Naomi follows. Smee gets rezzed as well. So SWIYAA with a bit of an advantage as we see Matt drop as well. SWIYAA definitely wants to push here, another kill to solidify their hold on this fight, but it's actually Mac and Cheese kind of holding down the point at this moment. However, off to the side, Hothead finds Kitsune with a flashbang and now moves in on point, takes out Mac, and the better of Night Ops in this fight. It's just Dr. White and Limbo left on point, and as Limbo falls, Dr. White will be quick to follow, you have to believe, and yes, down goes Dr. White. The rest of Night Ops deciding, probably not going to win a hit in there.
I also saw Tata.
They're gonna back off.
Getting that cheeky mercy kill there.
Absolutely. The mercy, in compositions like very important. Resurrection, such fight-changing ability. Even, back in the day, it used to do a ton. Now it's only one person resurrected, but it can still swing fights in such a big way. Now it's going to be Night Ops pushing up through the low ground. Mac and Cheese gets hooked in, and we see a rocket barrage being pushed in now from Idolin, who does find one, and the DMEC onto Matt. Dr. White went down to Hothead as well, so pretty quickly it's going to be SWIYAA once again taking the fight. Mac and Cheese to drop. All that is left is Limbo, and Limbo falls as well. SWIYAA looking dominant, and incredibly enough, the only ultimate committed there was the rocket barrage. They have 5 ultimates heading into this next fight.
Yeah, great ult economy advantage for SWIYAA Academy, but during this whole fight, it seems that ults haven't necessarily been the deciding feature in the fights going ahead. We've seen it time and time again. EMP is being pulled out, Earth Shatters, but then nothing happens. So ultimates can be really good.
Definitely, Hothead finds 2 though with that big McCree kills. However, a massive Earth Shatter comes through from Mac and Cheese, but he got slept or knocked down himself during that, so not able to capitalize on it. SWIYAA pushing back onto point with the whole hog, making some space for the rest of the team. They do still have a bit of an advantage in this fight. Mac and Cheese was able to slow them down, but in the end, Cadenza finds him with a Bionade. Matt gets Mac to fall afterwards. SWIYAA turning this fight in their favor. It is worth noting, however, they were not building percentage during this fight. Night Ops was actually able to flip the point, which is the only thing saving them right now from losing this point. Still, 3 members of Night Ops Academy on point. The good thing about this is obviously they're holding on to point, just stalling it out as long as possible. So even though they are feeding some ultimates, it's actually going to be an ultimate committed there. The rocket barrage committed from Idolin. I don't know about.
Yeah, I don't think he really wanted to use that because he tried to get Mac and Cheese there. However, Mac and Cheese was really low and shouldn't have used that ultimate because he was handling about 100 health, which can easily be taken down, especially with Welsh Kiwi on that Roadhog. So a bit of an overuse on the ultimates, and he might have wanted that back, but he is getting this ultimate quite quickly.
Building it up very quickly as Night Ops Academy pushing in. This is last fight. They're going to push in on the back of a sound barrier, but a huge Bionade. And 2 members, the Brigida and the Reinhardt, both moved into the hole. Not before Hothead goes down, but with 2 members in the hole, it is possible that SWIYAA can turn this around. Now a whole hog comes out, but a huge pin from Mac and Cheese. Even as Kitsune goes down, the Mercy is taken out on the side of SWIYAA. So Mac and Cheese doing everything to keep Night Ops Academy in this, but it's not going to be enough. Idolin takes out Mac and Cheese. It's just Brigida, Lucio, and now the grab comes through. There is a possibility for them to bring this back as Cadenza falls, but with Naomi dropping, it is going to be SWIYAA Academy taking our first point on Oasis.
Yeah, but it's getting really exciting now. great plays from Smee there. Getting the character, getting the Notice Academy into the hole means that it's going to mean it's slower for them to group together. And as soon as you split up those teams, you can start focusing on the team that's actually on the platform. And then when the team that went through the hole is slowly coming back up, you've got to be ready for them, and you're going to start applying that damage, especially when the Welsh Kiwi there using that whole hog just to push the team in. Gonna kill onto Kitsune. Really unfortunate for Kitsune there. But that whole hog from the Welsh Kiwi just pushing back characters such as Mac and Cheese, so they couldn't get onto the point. It was really good plays from the Welsh Kiwi there.
Very excellent stuff. Now we are headed to Gardens, another map that we spoke briefly about between the maps here. It's looking like more that, actually a 3-2-1 coming out from SWIYAA as Night Ops are going to opt to go for a more DPS heavy comp, which is working out so far as they are able to take down Eidolon on the Brigida. However, the issue with these DPS comps isn't always finding picks, it's having that sustain that the 3-2-1 or the 3-3 has instead. We'll see if they're able to capitalize. Mac and Cheese does find Cadenza, and Welsh Kiwi is going to drop to Kitsune, but the answering picks are coming through. Smee finds Smee finds Kitsune, and Hothead find Mac and Cheese. But as Smee drops, you have to think that this point is going to go to Night Ops, and it does as Tater falls to the Soldier 76.
Yeah, the main goal for this competition played by Night Ops Academy is to get those picks nice and quickly with the high DPS and the high damage, meaning they can get the kills nice and quickly and get that point first. As soon as you get that point first, you can start to contest it and start to gain percentage, so it gives you a greater advantage.
We see a rocket barrage committed from Naomi, but slept out of that, only able to get the DMAT on the Welsh Kiwi, who does go down. Naomi to fall immediately after. Limbo is going to keep the advantage in for Night Ops as they take down Eidolon, and Naomi gets resurrected. So SWIYAA now throwing everything they can as they put the nano onto Smee, who finds Dr. White, but Matt answering with a tactical visor. 2 dropping on the side of SWIYAA, and it looks like Night Ops are going to be able to continue to hold this point. As we talked about before this match, it is very, very difficult to come back and retake this point here on Oasis Gardens.
Yeah, most definitely, especially with this high damage being produced from characters such as Soldier 76, Farah, and Tracer. Really high damage characters applying that damage towards characters such as a Reinhardt, Diva. And as soon as you start getting rid of those, the cookie will start to crumble, and then it means that the team defending will be able to win the fights.
There are some key ultimates now on the side of SWIYAA Academy, so perhaps going to be able to recontest this. The mines are out on the side of Night Ops, not able to find anyone. Hothead does take down Mac and Cheese, so a big pick to start things off. Now the EMP able to find a couple, only 2 on the side of Night Ops, and we do see a Transcendence come through to keep people alive. Matt in the fray does fall, so despite that Transcendence, now the sound barrier committed from SWIYAA Academy. They're putting everything they can into this fight. They need to take this point right now. They are winning this fight little by little, but so much has been committed to this fight so far as Limbo does eventually drop. Mac and Cheese just rolling around the point, stalling it out, and is eventually going to just toss himself off of the edge. Give this point over to SWIYAA with 99% on the board for Night Ops.
Yeah, and the thing is with SWIYAA, they have to make sure they have a whole good defense, because if Night Ops Academy get one good fight and win the fight, it means they will go over towards Night Ops Academy and they will take round 2. So and
Night Ops, obviously, Night Ops recognizing this, they are going to switch over to a 3-3 goats composition here, knowing we can lose a couple fights, build up some of these massive tank ultimates, come through, wipe the other team, and this will be round. So we're going to see the 3-3 coming out from Night Ops now. Coalescence thrown into the fight, not one of the most impactful ults out there, as Smee is going to fall. So Night Ops, even potentially without any ultimates, are finding some picks here. Matt is going to get demeched, however, and does get taken down, so we are even as the picks are coming. Mac and Cheese looking to get aggressive here on the back of Limbo as well. So Limbo and Mac and Cheese pushing up do find Eidolon. As a unit, Night Ops are just storming this point, doing everything they can. The Earth Shatter doesn't find anyone. A nice bubble placed there. However, the Welsh Kiwi is going to fall. Smee now in Primal Rage, doing everything he can to keep SWIYAA firmly embedded on this point. We see the rally committed now by Naomi. Once again, a very back and forth fight as the Transcendence has to be committed to keep them on this point, but now a huge EMP going to be coming through from Hothead. Despite that EMP, however, Matt finds 2 kills. It is extremely back and forth. Matt now doing everything he can, gets the self-destruct kill. Mac and Cheese with the kill on the Eidolon, and things are looking very good for Night Ops if only they can get rid of these last few people. Lucio, sound barrier committed just to keep SWIYAA onto this point. However, Smee is going to fall, getting pinned off a point. Earthshatter comes through, doesn't get anything, but Tater is taken out. Now a Graviton Surge just holding that Moira off point. Just a Tracer contesting. The respawns are coming through. The stall is good from SWIYAA, but they can't really afford to stall here. They have to win a fight. Night Ops does eventually flip the points, so now it is dire straits for SWIYAA Academy. Sound barrier committed from Night Ops. They have all the ultimates they need to take this fight and to take this point. Diva Bomb committed now just to keep the members of SWIYAA off the point, and it does find 2. Matt has been lighting up this point. And on the back of that performance, it is going to be Night Ops evening things up here on Oasis.
Yeah, it's down to the wire now. 1-1. And it went to 99% to 99%, so really good matches. And it's showing it's getting really down to this wire. Good plays from Matt there, using those using those self-destructs to get picks onto the supporters, onto Tater and Cadanza, meaning they had no support and no, so it means there was no additional health towards the team. Also, Naomi Smalls and Dr. White using their ultimates to keep their team up during these fights as SWIYAA was slowly trying to come in and trying to wear them down because they wasn't getting the respawns. However, done good plays from Naomi Smalls and Dr. White for keeping their team alive.
Absolutely. So this is about all you can ask for here. It's finals, it's map 5, and it is currently all tied up 1 apiece. Whoever takes this point will take the map, take the series, and take the finals. We see the Night Ops Academy going to be opting for a Winston Sombra variant of the 3-2-1, whereas SWIYAA are going to be on more of a classic 3-2-1 with the Reinhardt. We'll see which composition is able to get the advantage here. A big Bionade goes through on the side of SWIYAA, so members of Night Ops have to back off there, not able to get healed up, as Mac and Cheese does eventually fall, caught up there, I believe with a Brigitte stun. Matt's just raining in damage from up on top there on that Diva, doing everything he can, but it does seem like SWIYAA have themselves pretty firmly embedded on this point. Matt in a lot of trouble here. He's Bionaded, no health remaining. Matt is going to get demeched. It's just a matter of cleaning up these kills now, it seems like, for SWIYAA Academy. Down goes Limbo. Dr. White, not long for this world. Mac and Cheese back in the fray, but he's going to be taken out basically immediately. SWIYAA just have to clean up these kills, thing that Night Ops can do besides feed at this point. They don't have the numbers to really win anything, and it is eventually going to be SWIYAA taking first control.
Yeah, and we do see a few ultimates coming up from the SWIYAA side. They have about 5 ultimates, and Tater without his ultimate. And not many on the Night Ops. They do get some with that Nano. Big EMP.
Speaking of ultimates, huge EMP followed by a huge Earth Shatter. That is going to be a very quick and very well... can't find the word I'm looking for, but really great ult economy there from SWIYAA, only committing the EMP, the Earth Shatter, cleaning up the way they need to, taking these fights quickly and easily. It is also worth noting that Mac and Cheese did swap off the Winston there, so definitely going to be behind now the Night Ops had to make some swaps there after that first fight.
Yeah, most definitely, but he is getting into it quickly. He's already at 60% during his changes, while Smee is at 26, so it's going to be the great advantage for Mac and Cheese.
We see the Graviton Surge committed from SWIYAA, not able to find any kills, but now with the Nano Boost, they are able to finish off Mac and Cheese. Smee pushing up, pushing through the ranks of Night Ops Academy, who are finding themselves on a quick path back to spawn. Limbo just making it really look like he was going to be picked there after that sleep dart was able to catch them, but in the end they do make it back to spawn. However, it is 75% and climbing for SWIYAA Academy.
Yeah, and SWIYAA Academy are just preparing to a bit more aggression, especially during this choke, but not being too aggressive so they don't get caught out. Good plays, good communication, and good positioning.
And perhaps the most important thing right now is that Hothead is 10% away from an EMP. That could close out the whole thing right here. 90% on the board and climbing for SWIYAA Academy. Mac and Cheese forced off point. Can they even make it to point at this point? Stunned up, and finally it is going to be Matt that touches. So Night Ops Academy are able to make their way to point, but a huge EMP goes out, finding several members of Night Ops. But in the end, it's Eidolon who drops. Sound barriers now being committed. There's the Graviton Surge, followed by a Diva Bomb that finds Welsh Kiwi on the Zarya. Mac and Cheese finds 3. Night Ops Academy. We talked about it earlier in this match. The clutch factor against the wall when things seem impossible. Night Ops Academy are able to pull it out, and now it's just a matter of holding on to this point.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of ultimates would have been put out, but the greatest play was from Mac and Cheese there, getting that winning fight. Matt just getting onto that point, just to make sure he did contest, and then using that Diva Bomb just to get a few picks and get a bit more damage. Then Mac and Cheese just finishing off that fight and saying goodbye to SWIYAA and starting to get a percentage onto this point.
So they do start building. It is going to be a long road back. However, Mac and Cheese finds 4 with the Earth Shatter as he was able to slip behind Smee there. Mac and Cheese does eventually fall, but it is still Night Ops up 1 in this fight. We're going to see a rally committed from them as well, just to make sure that they are able to close out this fight. They cannot afford to lose this point right now, obviously. Night Ops pushing forward, looking for any exit frags. Doesn't look like they're going to find any as SWIYAA are able to just regroup here off of a pretty quick fight. Not too many lost, not too many ultimates fed. And now SWIYAA coming in with quite a few ultimates of their own. We're going to be seeing a Nano Boost, an Earth Shatter, a Graviton Surge. They have all the pieces they need to potentially win this right here. We see the Reinhardt's jockeying for position. Zarya Bubble's going out. Graviton Surge committed onto Limbo, only finds 1, but that might be all they need. We now see the Nano onto Smee. Can we see another huge carry performance? Smee finds 4 with the Earth Shatter. That's all they needed. Smee cleaning up the other members of SWIYAA, going to feast on those downed members of Night Ops Academy. It is looking very grim for Night Ops Academy here in our... The flip is coming through now. Will there be any members of Night Ops able to touch? Stunned up, there is the Zarya. Nobody left to touch, and it is going to be SWIYAA Academy taking this final point, our final map, and taking the finals in...
Wow, what a match that was.
Wow is all there is to say about a match like that. Incredible stuff from these teams.
Yeah, most definitely. It's also at the end, that Graviton Surge from the Welsh Kiwi started off that fight, then getting to that pick onto the Limbo from Smee there, started that snowball effect, and then it ultimately ended with SWIYAA winning the round and winning Overwatch Pretenders Finals.
And that was the thing. It was small, very small advantages. Just getting that one pick, that one extra kill, that little bit of damage that ended up being the difference maker between these two teams. So close. What an incredible match.
Okay, so that has been it for the Overwatch Pretenders Finals. I have been your colorcaster, Brilliant Frame. You can follow me on Twitter at Brilliant Frame with 3 L's. Any social media you want to shout out, Griffins?
Nothing from me. Just continue tuning into Overwatch Pretenders. I'm very excited. We do have our upper division the next season starting very soon, so very excited to hopefully be doing some more casting for that. Overwatch Pretenders, it's a great community. They do it's more than just tournaments like this. It's a community of Overwatch players looking to grow, develop, get better, in just a very friendly environment. It's an awesome place. If you haven't already, you should definitely check it out.
Most definitely. So that has been us, and see you around.